We all know that play is an important part of children's development, but why is it so important? Can we get into that?
You bet. Play is a child's work. That is how they experience the world.
It's a good way to look at it.
And how they learn things. So it's their work.
It's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I get up and do this.
Mm-hmm. You bet. Yep. You get
Play
up.
is my work too.
Yeah,
Have you noticed?
exactly. Play is their work. And there are lots of types of plays. We're just going to talk about a couple of them. One is the unoccupied. You know, the child who's just kind of daydreaming out the window. Not really any toys, not really doing a whole lot of any one thing. Then there's solitary play, the child who's just playing on their own. Maybe they've got a block or car. Even our little grandbaby is only 4 months old. She'll just take a toy and play.
Just kind of play
just
with
solitary
it in her hand.
play, right. There's also the onlooker. So that's the one who just is kind of maybe sitting there holding their blankie, watching their friend play or their brother or sister play.
More of an observation of the
Mm-hmm.
play than engaging in it.
And they're still learning some things. So they're still working. So that's still a type of play. We've
Okay.
got the onlooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to realize that is still play. A couple more. We've got parallel play. Now that's like where a little boy and a girl or a couple of kids, they sit down next to each other and one is playing with blocks and the other is playing with blocks, but they're kind of doing their own thing. That's why we call it parallel. They're not really handing blocks to each other or kind of saying, here, let's go drive around here. They're just playing parallel.
Same space,
Mm-hmm.
but no real
Yeah,
interaction.
they're same space, but no, and that is a good thing. Remember, these are all kind of building on each other. And one of the next one is a functional play where you might take a block and you pretend to brush your hair, a doll's hair, or you take food and you feed it to your dolly.
This is where the imagination is
Mhm.
kicking in more.
Right.
And things become
Mhm.
something else that child's familiar with in their world.
Right. And then of course the highest is probably the interactive play where you're playing with another child. You guys are both playing spaceship and you're just like there's even
turn-taking,
there's
roles.
turn-taking, there's role playing, and lots of wonderful things that you learn in that stage.
So we've established, Vicki, that play is what kids do. It's their work.
Right.
And it's what they naturally are inclined to do.
Mhm.
There's obviously some benefits that the kids are getting for their development
Mhm.
as they engage in these different levels of play that you've just described.
Mhm.
Share with us what some of those benefits might be.
For instance, like if a child is doing maybe some blocks, building a tower, right?
Yeah.
You're learning a lot about mental planning. Maybe some problem solving. You've got quite a few things, maybe even some proprioceptive, like when I move my body and go forward, is it going to fall? You become aware of how motion is affecting
And
you.
physics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're already doing STEM activities when building a tower. It's
Right.
a great thing to remember.
Exactly. I noticed one of our little neighbors was over here playing. We get to be foster grandparents sometimes
Yeah.
to the neighbor kids. And one of the kids was over here playing, building a tower, and bumped it and it knocked down.
Mhm.
He didn't intend to knock it down, but I saw him say, "Oh, it happens." And I'm like, dude, I have adults that I wish I could teach that concept.
Right.
Right? But you learn how to just kind of roll with things.
Problem
too.
solve,
It's
yeah. Well,
uh,
maybe we'll put it over here.
frustration, how to handle that.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
You know, a really great activity for playing is drawing or painting or sculpting, especially because when they draw a picture of themselves, they're learning a lot about their self-conceptualization.
Yeah.
And their interaction with things, and also just kind of forming where things are in their world.
I'm trying to remember, Vicki, when I gave up on the idea that I'm an artist.
Every child is a perfect artist. They
In
know
kindergarten, oh yeah,
they are. Mm-hmm.
they're all artists. They're confident about it. And at some point we let that go. But I love what you're saying about that, because it helps us to really start to conceptualize who we are and how other people might perceive us, and how to represent that or communicate that.
Right. And it even they start to learn about descriptions and differences. Like maybe my little girl has brown hair and your little guy has a red hair or something like that. So that you can
Right.
look at differences.
I like that there are so many toys and resources available to us as parents for the enrichment of our child's play.
Right. There are so many great things.
So you mentioned blocks earlier, but a lot of times blocks have letters or numbers
or animals,
symbols of some kind. And these symbols can help children with their language development, with learning about sequencing.
Even categorizing. You know, a lot of blocks will have different colors on them. You can put the blocks that have all of the red letters on them. Even if they can't read the letters or the numbers, usually we learn colors first. So you can go there.
Then they get to practice sorting, helps them with their cognitive skills.
And even lining them up is going to help with hand-eye coordination, some things like that.
As you interact with your child, as the parent playing with these things, you can model some of those activities. And the child might not have noticed or thought about the symbols that are on the blocks until you call them to their attention.
And you just said something that I just can't stress enough. You said when you play with your child, get on the ground.
That you're going to.
Play with your children. Play with these toys. It's so important, especially when you start to do pretend play, maybe restaurant play or playing house and things like that. A child is increasing their vocabulary when they're doing that. Maybe they haven't heard the word chef before, but you're going to introduce that word chef as you're playing with them, the person that gets to cook. You're the chef. Chefs cook food. Sometimes chefs wear a hat, and you're going to say that word and you're playing with them. So they're learning vocabulary. They're learning some perspective taking when they start doing this pretend play, which is the interactive and the acting out, dramatic play, I think it's called. And so you want to kind of foster that because it's fostering so many great skills about interacting with other people.
There's a hidden benefit here, Vicki.
Yeah. What's that?
To the parent, this is good for you.
Yeah, it's fun.
To get down and play with your kids. It causes, really, seriously, it causes you to shed some of the superficial, phony stuff that we pack around as adults. Get down on the floor with your kids. Play is not just babysitting so that you can go do your thing. Get down there with them. This helps in your development as a parent. You're going to learn some things and you'll strengthen that relationship with your child. So it's not just a benefit to the child. It benefits the parent.
We hope these ideas helped you see why play is beneficial to a child and helps in their development. If you have other questions or want to learn more about how you can encourage your child to grow and foster a better relationship, go to parentingpowerup.com.
When you go there, you're going to get lots of resources to help you be more confident as a parent and provide those enriched experiences for your kids.
Down, face locked onto the phone.